I wanted to share with you one of the best persuasive tweets I've seen in a long time from Mike Shellenberger, and the topic is nuclear waste. And I'm going to show you the technique in this tweet. Now, if once you notice that the technique is very good, I will tell you that Mike Shellenberger does continue to build his talent stack, as it were. So it includes, environmental stuff and nuclear energy, and I know that he has intentionally learned persuasion. I'm pretty sure he's read one or more of my books. So let's see how well he has incorporated persuasion into this tweet. I'll read you the full tweet, and I'll go back and tell you the persuasion parts, okay? So here's the tweet. Nuclear waste is the best kind of waste. All of it ever produced can fit on a single football field. It never hurts anyone and never will. It will be recycled in future reactors. And then he says, nice to see stridently anti-nuclear Senator Reid acknowledge that it is safe where it is. And then he pastes a quote from Senator Reid, and a question was asked of Senator Reid, based on your experience of, is it Yucca or Yucca Mountain in Nevada, what do you see as the future of nuclear waste disposal in this country? And Senator Reid said, I think that what we've learned over the years is that the best thing to do with nuclear waste is to place it where it is. Don't transport it. Put it in dry cask storage containers. You can bury it in the ground or leave it above the ground because the dry cask storage containers that we've developed are extremely safe. So there's a senator acknowledging, I believe he's a Democrat, right? Democrat senator acknowledging that nuclear waste basically isn't a problem because it used to be. But now we've learned, just as we've learned with the coronavirus by experience, we've learned that transporting it kind of doesn't make sense. Because if the nuclear facility itself already has, a stay away written all over it, right? Because you would stay away from, you're not going to build a house, or you don't want to, build a house right next to a nuclear reactor. So just keep the waste there. It's the same problem. You don't want to be near it, so just put it in all the places that you didn't want to be near anyway. And on top of that, they've developed these dry storage techniques which are seen to be quite safe. But let me tell you what is good about this tweet. Number one, tweets that have an attachment or a photo get much more engagement. So this is trick number one. An attachment or a photo gets more engagement. So what he did here was he attached as the text from Senator Reid as a photo, basically an attachment. Now, because the attachment looks different from the regular text, even though it's all text, it breaks it up, and I think that counts toward the same kind of attention getting as a photograph would, because it's broken up, it's not just straight text. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that the topic is sort of a hot, current one. We're talking about the Green New Deal because Biden's the president. Nuclear waste is always hot. So he's got the right topic that's naturally viral. Anything about this topic is going to get people's attention. He's got the right, visual look because it's not just text. And then the size of the tweet hits the sweet spot as well. A brilliant tweet that's only one sentence still won't be that viral because people will look at it and say, well, it's brilliant. That's just one sentence. So people are less likely to retweet one good sentence. But they will retweet a good argument, especially if it's got like a picture or something with it. So he's got all of that working for him before he's even started his tweet. The first sentence, he says, nuclear waste is the best kind of waste. Now, I've taught you that the first sentence is the important one because it's the one that makes you curious or not. Does this make you curious to read the rest of the tweet? Nuclear waste is the best kind of waste? Yeah, you have to read the next sentence Because who is telling you that nuclear waste is the best kind of waste? It's like opposite of what you thought. Can he make that case? Do you think anybody can make a case that nuclear waste is the best kind of waste? And then he does. Then he makes the case. So it's surprising, provocative, shocking, invokes curiosity. In the first sentence, he got all that in there. And then he goes, all of it ever produced can fit in a single football field. What have I told you about visual persuasion? It would be one thing to say, all of that waste is safely stored. Just a concept. But if I say to you, all of the waste ever produced could be put on a football field, now you've imagined the entire size of the planet Earth, and then you've imagined what one football field would look like on the entire planet Earth, and now it doesn't seem so scary, does it? So it's visual in the second sentence, which is A plus persuasion. Keep it visual. Then he says, it never hurts anyone and never will. Now that's a provocative claim. How do you know it never will? Well, he can't know that, of course. But by making it so extreme, you can't look away. And that's good persuasion. He went a little too far by making it an absolute. In this context, the absolute works because it's wrong. And a little bit of wrongness will tie you to a point in a way that being all right won't. Here's what it should have said if you wanted to be accurate, as opposed to persuasive. Accurate, instead of saying it never hurts anyone and never will, a more accurate statement that I think you would find more fair would be, it has never hurt anyone, and it is extraordinarily unlikely that it ever will. Now that would be fair to say. You could disagree or agree, but it sounds like a fair statement. But to say never will, well, you can't really say something never will, right? Somebody could fall out of a helicopter and land on I don't know. But there must be some way to hurt at least one person in the future of the entire civilization. But turning it into an absolute, which your brain recognizes as wrong, still binds you to it, and you say to yourself, but how wrong is it? Now you've got to deal with it, right? It's wrong. I'm sure it's wrong. That you could say with certainty, nobody could ever get hurt. But how wrong is it? Is it 100% wrong? Is it completely wrong? Is it left field? Is it in the wrong zip code? No, it's not. It's pretty close to reality. And that's the point. If he can make you argue that you can't know that it could never hurt anybody, he's probably already getting you to the point where you're willing to accept it's very low risk. It's very clever persuasion. And then he says it will be recycled in future reactors. And that is sort of like the drop the mic moment of this tweet. Because you and I probably knew that nuclear waste can be used in the newer types of reactors for their fuel. That's a newer emerging industry, but it seems quite obvious that that will be the future. For people who didn't know that, that's like a big, big piece of information that they just learned. Imagine if you didn't know that. It's the first time you'd read this sentence. It will be recycled in future reactors. What? If you didn't know that was a thing, that would be pretty impactful, I think. And you might even have to research it to find out if that's real, and it is. It is real. So anyway, that is a whole lot of things to get right. And then he shows the Senator Reid thing so that you can get, you can feel that people on both sides of the politics agree with him. It's a social proof. So, I mean, look at all the things. He's got curiosity. He's got a little bit intentionally wrong. He's got visual persuasion. It's the right size. It's provocative, social proof. He got all of that into a tweet. When I saw this thing, my jaw just dropped. I was like, God, this is some good work here.